Hi guys, welcome to another Total Technik video. Today we're going to be looking at how to remove your headlights from your A4 or S4. This is for the B6 model, Avanton Saloon. Now one thing to point out is we've removed the front bumper from this car. You do not have to remove the front bumper to remove the headlight. There are two ways of doing it, one with the bumper removed, one with the bumper in situ. I'm going to show you both methods and the differences between the two. So no matter what stage you're in, no matter what job you're doing to remove these, you'll be able to get these out no problems at all. So let's take a look. Right, so the first thing to look at, on the top side of the headlight here, you've got these two little plastic kind of arms that come out the top of the headlights with these Torx size 30 screws in them, here and here. Now, no matter whether you're removing the headlight with the bumper in situ or the bumper removed, these two have to come out anyway. So for the time being, I'm just going to slacken these off. I'm not going to remove them completely. I'll remove them so they're a point where they're just hand tight, ready to go. This is just a safety precaution, just when you undo the other fixings, just to stop it falling out, but so that you can quickly remove it as soon as you're ready to go. So slacken those off, and I'll now show you the differences between removing it with the bumper in situ and the bumper removed. Now, if you're lucky enough to have your front bumper removed, depending on what job you're doing that involves removing your headlights, then on the underside here, I've got another Torx size 30 here, and another one at the back here. This is not a factory fitting. These headlights have obviously been removed and refitted before. That should be another Torx size 30 in there as well, but that's an aftermarket fixing there. Okay, so if you were removing the headlight with the bumper removed, the quick and easy way to do it is to undo these two fixings, and then the whole thing will come out, including the mounting plate that it sits on, which I'll show you on the next stage of the video. So I'll slacken these off and show you how the whole thing comes out, and then I'll pop them back in and I'll show you it from the top. Okay, so I've just removed the two lower bolts, as in this instance. I'm showing you quickly how to do it with your bumper removed. This is quite the useful way of doing it if you need to remove the mounting plate that the headlight itself sits on. So with the two underneath and the two on the top removed, what you'll find is the whole thing can slide forward in this manner, and that'll give you access to the electrical connection that I'll show you in a moment. If I lift this up for you, you actually see this little plate, these two fixings. This is the mounting plate that the headlight sits on. Now if you're doing it the other way, which I'm going to show you in a second, which is removing the headlight with the bumper in situ, you leave these two in place, and this plate will actually stay in the car, and we'll attack it from the top, and we'll disconnect the plate from the headlight, and that'll allow it to slide out that way. But what I've done here is kind of the easiest method first, so I'll pop this back in and I'll show you how to do it, imagining you've got your bumper still on the car. Okay, now if you're doing this with the bumper in your car, one thing that might be worth doing is masking this up before you try and remove the headlights. Obviously you'll have your front bumper protruding from this kind of region here, so you might want to put some masking tape across the front here, and also up the wing and across the top there if you like. Just some masking tape just to help protect the bumper when you move this forward. Obviously you don't want to scratch the top edge of your bumper by taking your headlight in and out. So for the sake of £1 in masking tape and 2 or 3 minutes of your time, I'm sure you'd much prefer to spend 2 or 3 minutes putting some masking tape than to have a nasty scratch on your bumper. So well worth the extra couple of minutes just to make sure you do that if you're doing this with the bumper in situ. So let's take a look at the fixings at the rear. So taking a quick look, this is obviously inside the engine bay, looking down on the headlight fixing here. As we saw earlier, the headlight is connected to a mounting plate, and we're going to leave the mounting plate in the car because we want to remove the headlight with the bumper in situ. Now if you have a look here, unfortunately someone's already removed the screw. You can see there's a little metal plate just there. That's actually on the mounting plate, the plastic one underneath that I showed you a second ago. This little slot should actually be directly above that hole. That should be pushed back in a little bit in relation to it. You kind of get the idea. and there should be a bolt that comes down through and just kind of clamps the whole thing together to stop it sliding backwards and forwards. As you can see, unfortunately the bolt is missing. But what you would normally do is just undo that fixing there, and you've got an identical one. It's a little bit harder to see next to your power steering fluid bottle. Hopefully you can see. Hopefully you can see down there. Let me try and move that out of the way a little bit. Try and torch down in there. Hopefully you can see that a little bit better. Now what you can see down there is the second fixing, just there. Now, unfortunately, again, as we had on the in the video a second ago, that's not a factory fitting. You'll most likely find little Torx screws in here. This is an aftermarket size 10 nut, but you'll most likely have a Torx screw in there, but the same principle applies. Now what you're looking to do is you're not necessarily looking to remove these completely from the car. You're looking to undo them to remove the pressure between the plate underneath and the headlight itself. Just enough to kind of wiggle it out. So I'm not going to take that bolt out. I'm going to slacken it off. So I'll do that now, and I'll show you how the whole thing slides out. Okay, now we've got one electrical connection on the back of the headlight here. You can see that just here. It's one of the standard Audi types of connections with a little plastic lug in it. You've got two options. You can either try and remove that in situ, or if it's a bit tight, sometimes it's quite hard to get your fingers past these kind of areas. What you can do is slide it forward and remove it from in front of the car. So that's what we need to get removed. So we'll look at that now. Okay, I've tried getting that out, but he is in quite tight, which sometimes they are. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to slide it forward and remove it from outside of the car. Like so. Where I said you've got to be careful. You've got your bumper in situ, something like that. That's why you've really got to get some masking tape on there before you do it. There we go. They can be in very tight, unfortunately. So that is your headlight removed from the car there. And if you just have a little look, like I said before, this is the little mounting plate. Remember I showed this to you near at the start of the video, actually attached to the bottom of the headlight. You know, with the Torx screw removed, if you've got your bumper removed. But that's what you leave in situ if you're going to remove it with your bumper in place. So that's it. Now, one thing to note, if we take a quick look on the other side of the car, we've got a little bit more work to do. Now again, if you're removing this headlight with your bumper removed, dead easy. You've got the two screws up here and the two screws underneath, exactly the same as we had on the first one. So that will come out with the plate in situ. If you're trying to remove this with your bumper left on the car, then obviously you've got to do a little bit of strip down work to get access to this. Okay, so you've got to remove these two air pipes here. The airbox, etc., all stays in place. We've got to remove these two air pipes here. Now, I'll show you very, very quickly how to do this. To remove this is in two sections, as you can see here. To remove the lower one, you've got a screw here. Undo that screw. There's actually two screws. I do apologise. This is a non-genuine screw. The two screws should be the same. Two screws in there. Remove those, and that should allow you to remove this section here, and this will pop out. And this second section will just pop out. There's no fixings as such. Once you've removed this, that section should just pop out of there. Okay, so it's a little bit beyond the scope of what we're looking at here, but you know, it should only take 2 or 3 minutes to get those removed, and that will give you the access to the two screws that we looked at on the other side earlier in the video. So that's it. Best of luck, guys, and I'll see you on the next one. Thank you.